is the business chassis. Now, I am in no way mechanical. Just ask my wife. I can't even, she says I can't hammer a nail in straight. She's the one who replaces bulbs, all that stuff in our house. So, but what I have learned is that chassis is what holds the car together. Is that right? Excellent. So I've learned something. So in this section, we're going to look at what are the key components to hanging the business together. So when we say to you, you've got to increase your income, this means you've got to look at your sales and break down your sales. And how do we do that? So I've got a formula for you here, which actually someone's missing. So, okay, so we start off by what we call the number of leads. So what do we mean by the number of leads? What's a lead? So a lead is a potential person that you can sell to. So you may actually have names and addresses of these, or these may be potential people that actually come into your business. Maybe the number of people who walk into your store every day. So let's say we had a, we're talking about exotic creams here. Let's say we had a, one of those natural, like a Body Shop store, for example. I was trying to think of the name of it. A Body Shop store. Does everyone who goes into Body Shop buy from them? No, okay. But they can actually, they have counters on their door that counts the number of people that walk into their shop. So then you've got to look at, okay, how many of those people who walk in actually buy from us? And we call that the conversion rate. How many people actually buy from us? So the higher the conversion rate, the higher the number of customers you've got. So if you have 1,000 people a day who walk into your store, but only one person buys, you've got a serious problem. Unless, of course, that one person buys $10,000, then that's all you need. But if that one person walks in the store and buys $30, you'll be closing down very quickly. So that gives you the number of customers. The next thing you need to look at is the number of transactions. So this is the number of times a customer buys from you. So with my hand cream, we know that hand cream lasts a month, okay? So if they use the hand cream every day, it lasts a month. That means every month they need to come back and buy a hand cream from me. So that means I've got 12 transactions a year, okay? Think about supermarkets. How many times do we buy milk? Every day, twice a day. So they've got not only a high number of customers, but a high number of transactions, okay? The next thing you need to look at is your average dollar sale. So in our hand cream case, we're selling them for $35. Okay, so that then gives you your total turnover for the year, and then you multiply that by your margin and gives you what your profit is. Okay, so what we've done there is we've taken sales, our sales figure, and we've broken it down to actually how do we get those sales. So that gives you the things that you know in business you need to work on. So let's look at the an example here. So I talked about that for our exotic creams, that the number of women who could potentially buy from us is 980,000. Okay, now, that's how many women there are in that age group on Facebook. It would be really great to sell to each one of them, but I know that that's not going to be possible. But what if I actually aim just to sell to 1% of those? That means I'm going to sell to 9,800 customers a year. And I'm going to say here that they are going to buy twice a year. What if they only bought twice a year and at $35? Now the thing's missing there, but it means that it's turnover about $1.3 million. And then if my bottom line profit's only 10%, what that comes out to, so it'll come out to $132,000. So can you see how that works out, doing that? So what we need to do then is to work on those numbers. So I may, what if I increase, so the 980,000 is not going to change because the number of women in that age group in Australia is not going to change. It's probably, it could change because the next generation are coming up. There could be more women in that generation. Or the other side of things, they're going to go the other way and they're going to die. Okay, but so I probably can't change the number of leads. But you may be in an organisation where you can change the number of leads. Or another way I could change the number of leads is say, okay, we've looked at the Australian market, but what if I added the US market? What if I added Canada? What if I added the UK? What if I added Japan? What if I added China? You know, so I can increase my target market in that sense and increase that by there. Okay, but what if we stayed in Australia and I increased the conversion rate from 1% to 2%. So I looked at various different marketing strategies. So we tried different ones and we found on one that actually doubles my conversion rate. So that means instead of doing 19,800, I'm now doing 19,600. Can you see the number of customers suddenly increases? And if I did the two, still sold two to them and the 35,000, then that's going to increase exponentially. But what if I tried to get them to buy more often? So this is one of the strategies that Coles and Woolworths have done, for example. We used to go to Coles and Woolworths and shop once a fortnight when we got paid. We now go to Coles and Woolworths every day. Well, they try to get us to go every day. We go every second or third day. And they're doing crazy things like putting the milk down the back of the store. So when you go down to get the milk, you've got to go past everything else. And why on earth they put those chocolates on the front counter just drives me bananas. But so like even Woolworths petrol, I keep using Woolworths as an example, but at the petrol station, why do they offer you a discount to buy if you buy $5 or $10 in the store? Because people buy it. So if they have 100 people a day coming in and spending an extra $5, that's an extra $500 per day. You multiply that by 365, and then you multiply that by 600 stores around Australia, you're suddenly talking multi-millions of dollars. Can you see how little numbers, changing little numbers makes a huge difference? So that's why the business strategy is a huge, like it breaks it down for you. So you can look at, okay, how am I going with my marketing? How can I target more people with my marketing? Then how am I doing with, okay, I'm really good at letting people know what I've got, but how am I converting them to sale? So when people come into my shop, why aren't they buying from me? So what are the things you can do? Can you go up and talk to them? Can you answer their questions? Give them options. Have you thought about this? You're doing that. And the next thing is, so that gives you a number of customers. So that's how you increase your customers. Then the number of transactions. How often do they have to come back to you to buy from you? And then how can you increase the amount that they're buying from you? Why did Macca's ask, well, do you want fries with that? Do you want anything else with that? They must get sick and tired of asking that question, but every time they ask it, it brings in more money for the organisation. So this is, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. In fact, I love TED Talks. There's a great TED Talk by a really weird, way out there punk rocker called Amanda Palmer, who has a thing called The Power of the Ask. And she has developed this thing about constantly asking her customers for things. And so she's, as a musician, she no longer sells her music, but she asks people to donate, and she's raised the largest amount on crowdfunding in the music industry, $1.2 million to make an album.